Right, so the next item is the letter of shareholder expectations to Christchurch City Holdings. So I've had some advice, which is that the wording of the amendment that was to be proposed by Councillor Johansson would be something that a director of CCHL couldn't move or vote on. And so for that reason, I'm just going to put this resolution, which is that we resolve around the environmental sustainability, the deletion of where it is commercially prudent, and to add the paragraph on remuneration that CCHL report on progress on this every 6 months. The reason that I would like to progress this resolution is that the letter of expectations can't wait. CCHL need to get the letter of expectations out to their companies before Christmas. And the second thing is that they have already done a report, and I've received this advice from them, that they have done a report on the living wage, which is now awaiting the council report itself, so that there is a view that these should be joined up, so that when the council considers the report from the Chief Executive and Employment Subcommittee, which will have a paper on the living wage, then the CCHL paper will come to council at the same time. So it's not something to progress in this letter of expectations, but I think we all are aware that the item is on the agenda. And the other thing is that we didn't raise it with them when we met with them last week. We did raise the question on remuneration. Executive salaries was very much something that we raised with them, and they are very aware that we want to see significant progress on addressing that as an issue. So I will move that motion, and do I have a seconder for it? Sarah? Yanni?
Yeah, can I just ask a question on that? So in terms of the paragraph on remuneration, if the only thing that you're worried about is the living wage aspect of the amendment that I'd proposed, then I'm happy for that to come back at a different date. But I didn't see materially what was wrong with the other one, which just added a few changes to essentially what was already in that report, in that paragraph, which was just to say, instead of a restraint, to show significant restraint, and it also included the issue of increases in directors' fees, which has been the other issue. So,
well,
and pay equity, which I think is just a pretty open thing.
Yeah, we didn't raise pay equity with them when we met with them. I would much rather, the suggestion was that I put this on hold till next week, while I have an opportunity to discuss these matters with
That's fine.
CCHL, but I can't do that. They have to get their letters of expectation out before Christmas, so I can't hold it up. So if you want to, if you move an amendment, then I'll have to take advice as to whether you can move that amendment. Do you have to die in a ditch over this? Is it necessary? Can we put it,
Can I just, I need to be convinced that in fact, that the report that they give us back will actually address those issues that Yanni has raised, like pay, equity and relativity. If it doesn't, we're no further ahead. And so it seems to me we've got nothing to lose.
We should have raised it with the CCHL when they came to see us last week. So all I'm saying is that it wasn't raised with them, and I would rather that we just resolve this. But if you are now going to move an amendment, so if you want to move Yanni's amendment, then I'll deal with it separately. But the CCHL board directors can't vote, which is on the amendment.
Happy to step back for this one.
I just think for clarity, I would like to move what Councillor Johansson previously advised us, really.
Okay, well, it's all there, so...
So if we could have that, if we could have what he put up.
Okay, it's there.
In front of us too.
So do I have is there a seconder for the amendment? Aaron?
Can I ask a question on that? Because I just see an inconsistency, like, what's the basis of the director's fees things? Because they have a policy that it's 20% less than market rate. So if we're making...
Yeah, no, look, I'm as
like this, it's just
frustrated by this
backed up by any policy.
Just vote on the
bad
amendment
form.
and vote.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, but, well, hang on. It's been moved by Phil Clearwater. It's seconded by Aaron Kewen. But I want to take some advice, because I actually don't think that this is a resolution, an amendment that we are capable of passing if we are to follow good practice with our relationship with the CCHL company, which we met with last week, and we raised the issue of salary expectations, and now this is thrown on the table at the last minute.
Well, I guess it's more specific things. If we need clarification in terms of following good process with CCHL, I'm entirely fine with that we get that advice.
I think it comes under that no surprises. We expect no surprises from them, and this would be quite a surprise to them. Because we hadn't raised it.
Well, they won't be in a position to include it in the letter of expectation to individual companies without having, I mean, yeah, it'll be a flow-on effect in terms of this.
So it is under remuneration in the letter of expectation, where we expect CCHL and the board and management of CCHL Group to show restraint with the level of senior executive total remuneration. I mean,
We told them that we would deal with that. We told them that we would be raising that in the letter of expectations. So I need some advice as to whether this is, we'll move on to another item on the agenda, but I'd like some advice as to whether we can accept that resolution, whether it's capable of being carried, whether it's in order. Okay, all right. So what's the next item on the agenda?
The mover, the seconder, we're happy to go with just one on there, the first one, how they're addressing pay equity and relativity issues, because that way they come back to us and they tell us each 3 months how they're going.
No, I'm not accepting it. Every 3 months, the companies can't... We've already agreed that we would add the paragraph on remuneration that CCHL report on progress every 6 months. So we'd already agreed that to go into the original resolution. And so now there's this 3-month expectation on all of these.
Yeah, 6 monthly.
And what does relativity mean?
Well, it's about equity. It's not about...
No, but what does... We've got to give them a letter of recommendation that makes sense. So a letter of expectation. So what do you mean by relativity?
Yeah.
If just stopping at pay equities clearer, I would have understood relativity was the range of salaries and wages. That's all. But if it's clearer for people just to stop at pay equity, I'm fine with that too.
It's just closing the gap.
No, that's not what pay equity is. So you either mean pay equity or you mean something else. So...
But you're addressing pay equity. We don't expect the cleaners to get $400,000 a year. That's
no, you're not. You're missing my point, and that is that pay equity has a very explicit meaning, which is work of equal value. So that people are paid for the same as others for work of equal value. That's what pay equity is. It's not equal pay, it's pay equity, and it's about women and men. But that's not what I think was meant by it. But
right, okay. That's it.
Could we ask for a report on how in the letter of expectations, could we ask CCHL to report to us how it and its companies are progressing the issue of pay equity?
Yes.
Okay, so can we just put that in the main body of the resolution? So, under remuneration, ask CCHL to report.
So you have including.
Well,
Regressing pay.
it's just so frustrating. Yeah, but it's not a 6-monthly report. We want a report from them. I mean, I suspect that for pay equity, they're already there, but which is why I think people are talking about two different
Yeah,
things.
so C, provide a report on.
Yeah, C, provide a report on how. I'm trying to find the.
How the companies are addressing pay equity.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be the pay inequity between top and bottom?
Yes, I know that's what you mean, but it's not what pay equity means. So, which is why, yeah.
Right. Well, that's your interpretation. My interpretation is...
No, it's a very deliberate, it's a deliberate phrase. It's what pay equity means.
Yeah, because if someone's the breadwinner of a family, they should have a...
Aaron, that's not
Yes.
the point for the discussion, but if you either want this line in here about how they're addressing pay equity, or you want to have a line in there that asks for what you want, which is the, I suppose it's the salary distribution across the companies.
Is the term salary distribution then? Is that the term, or what is it?
Well, no, but that's not how they're addressing it. Do we want a report on what it is?
Yes.
I would like to know, as leaders in our community, to be modelling an organisation that actually gives fair pay. So I guess that's what I'm trying to get at.
Yes, I know, but what everyone's trying to get at was
Yes.
not discussed with CCHL when they came to see
Right,
us.
so what is the process for us to get that started so that we can at least...
We could do it ourselves
Yeah.
within the organisation, and I've already said there's a report coming back on the living wage which could address pay equity and will address distribution issues. But that's not being dealt with now, which is why I'm expressing some frustration
Right.
About the nature of this amendment.
So if we're confident that that's actually in process and going to happen, do we need to put anything in here?
In my view, no, but my view is not being accepted by councillors.
Well,
So the normal measure,
Yep.
I think what the councillors are getting at is the normal measure used is to look at the average pay ratio between the CEO and the median of their workers. So it's a median worker. So
Yeah,
it's and I'll just check it. So it is the average pay ratio of the CEO to the median worker.
And have we raised that with CCHL
No,
before?
I think it will come out of the blue to them.
Honestly,
But
I mean,
that's the
is there any reason why we can't raise these issues with CCHL independently of the letter of expectations?
That would far be the better thing to do. You've talked to CCHL about the letter of expectations, you've reached agreement on what should be in it. All you need to do is vote. This is not the end of the world in terms of letters of expectations. There will be other processes. You've got statements of intent, you've got your regular meetings with CCHL. I don't think you need to go down this path to achieve what you guys are looking for.
Hang on, let's see if we can find a middle ground. So if we go...
Put a note that...
Thank
that
you,
will
thank
address
you.
this.
I'm just going to try and find some middle ground here, which is it says approves the letter of expectations to Christchurch City Holdings with the following amendments, and then in item 2, request CCHL to provide a report covering to provide a report to council on how the companies are addressing request to provide not on how the companies are addressing, but to provide a report to council on the, what is it, salary distribution?
No, it's merely hang on.
On how...
It's not the median's the problem, it's the bottom.
Exactly. So, look, on not how they're addressing, but request CCHL to provide a report to council on help me with some words, please. Request CCH. No, look, it's got to tie in with what we're doing for ourselves, and it does fit into the living wage report. Request CCHL to provide a report to council on the living wage and pay distribution within its companies. Yeah. Salary distribution within its companies. Yeah. And salary distribution within its companies.
Yeah, that salary distribution within its companies would capture it. But he wanted to benchmark it.
Yeah, okay, remuneration distribution within its companies.
I get bored.
It's just that if you're benchmarking, you use CEO to make a pay ratio, but that'll get it.
And living wage and yeah. And that will line up with the report that we're receiving as well.
Great.
All right?
Yep.
Right. Now, we've still got me moving that and Councillor Templeton seconding it. Is there any discussion? I'll put that motion. All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. That's carried.
You need to deal with the amendment. Chair, you had an amendment on that table as well, unless that has been withdrawn.
Oh, sorry. No. Are you comfortable to withdraw the amendment on that basis?
I am indeed, yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Yep. Okay. Thank you. Thanks very much. Sorry, I should have asked that first. Right.
Is Ian's advice to me and still that CCHL directors?
Yeah, CCHL directors sat back from the table.
Sat back.
Took no part in the decision. Took no part.
It's not complicated.
So, sorry, what's the next?
If people are going to be